I'll ask them, what do you think about what they're doing? And typically they will sympathize with you, but they would say, well, but I don't feel God's calling me to do that. Or, well, you can't do much if you're in prison. You know, there's a better way. Let's stay out of prison and help out here. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I won't even say where he's from, because that people might know who I'm talking about. But the brother I have respect for, who's a well-known minister, made a comment like that recently, and I've heard it several times. I don't think rescue's effective. You know, as I've always said, let's say there's a rescue and nobody be saved. It's still 100% effective, because a rescue is an attempt to save a child who's worth an attempt to save. And, you know, if a lifeguard has to evaluate every time they jump in the water, think about what are the percentages that I'm going to actually get there in time? Well, maybe, chances are maybe they'll drown anyway, so I'm not going to jump in. You know, we've got to put forth that effort. Now, as far as I've heard this said to, well, they just end up in jail. It's not true. Most of the people that have been sentenced today, most of them, not all of them, and I won't name which names, have been arrested, some of them 60, 70, 100 times. And they are the ones that are mostly on the sidewalk. It's this new charge, crazy 10-year charge that was pulled out of thin air from the 1800s, first time used, that makes it look like, oh, you might serve 10 years, which would then take us off the street. Even during the rescue, nobody knew they'd pull that out of the air. So no, you know, some people, the same people who make that excuse, often won't have a problem with spending 2 weeks on vacation or go camping. We just happen, our vacation might be a weekend in prison or in jail, or theirs is at the beach and then back on the street doing ministry. So it's really not a valid argument. You know, it makes me think when Corrie ten Boom one time was faced, her dad was, I believe, a Lutheran pastor. I don't know if you know the story. Came to their house and they had a family hidden and a baby, a Jewish baby, and were asking him if he could take that baby out of the city and hide it until they could place it. And he was fearful. It's like, you don't know, I could lose my life. No, I won't do that. And Corrie ten Boom's dad said, the greatest honor I could have is for us to lose our lives for this little baby. Well, if we lose our lives, how can they help more Jews? You have all kinds of excuses. You know, well, if that happens, then you can't do this. A baby's dying. It's up to us to save a baby's life and not always worry, well, what if? I wouldn't want someone to think of all those what ifs if it was my child drowning in a pool. And of course, and I'm not saying that everybody has to do what we did, but everybody should be living selfless lives of ministry somehow, somewhere.